Hey guys, what's up? How you doing? And welcome back to the channel. Today I have another battle between me and Khazad-Dum for you, featuring Rhun and Khazad-Dum. Now we'll go through my army comp first, followed by Manus'. So what I have is 2 units featuring hunters, one of which is my general's unit. As you can see, the Lord of Rhun himself is in this unit. And these guys, they're mainly just to get focused down and dish out some damage while they are focused down, because as you can see, they're archers and they can do some damage. These guys in front, they shoot some and then they have a greater purpose in the end. Then I also have 2 units of Baltroth tribesmen. No, not yet, 2 units. These guys are decent javelinmen, not quite as good as the Baltroth sapphire bladesmen, which have 2 hit points, but these guys are still pretty good and they're solid in melee, which means they will do some solid damage with their AP javelins, foremost, and secondmost with their curved scimitars. In between those two, we have 2 units of each from crossbows. Crossbows foremost, first and foremost. These guys will dish out some damage. As you can tell, I've dished out the armor upgrades on my troops, just buffing their armor stats up and making them like goldie boys. You can see in the walls behind them. AP missiles, these guys will shred through Khazad-Dum if left unchecked, which is what I'm hoping will happen. But I mean, I've played this, so I know what happens, but you know, I can't give anything away to you guys. But they also pull out scimitars in melee and they can do some solid damage in melee, as long as they don't rout due to their weak morale. Now I also have 1, 2, 3 units of Locate Gamp Prim, the Runic Halberds. These guys AP, they'll dish out some solid damage. You can just see how wicked that looks, that halberd. You won't want to go up against that. These guys, they'll dish out some solid damage with their AP. Low case arm rim on each flank, just getting that spearman just in case. These guys will hold out, dish out some solid damage, and they'll hold out a lot more than stuff like the Locate Gamp Prim, due to their shield and much heavier armor. You can tell that they have heavier armor because they just look like they do. In behind, then I also have 3 units of Locate Flagrim, Maceman of Rhun, AP of course. Most of Rhun's roster is focused on AP, to be honest. These guys, they'll dish out some solid damage against the more reliant, the less elite Dwarven forces that come their way. 5 I think it's 5. Yeah, 5 units of these strong clansmen, just to pack on the numbers. I mean, I don't care if they get shot up, because they're just to pack on the numbers, and also as a bit of a defense for these Locate Gamp Prim, because I'd much rather have something to guard them rather than they just get caught out and destroyed. And last but not least for my force, I have 2 units of Dragon's Wrath Guildsmen, very elite troops. These guys will wreck anything with their Naphatoons. Nah, Naphatoons are like explosives. Throwing knives. Of course, those throwing knives are armor piercing, So they'll do a ton of damage, followed by their follow-up with those knives by those devastating knives in melee. Now then, let's head over to the Khazad-Dum force led by Manus Hudson 1. And now then, let's have a look at his skirmish force first and foremost. Believe it or not, it is an entire unit of orc hunters of Khazad-Dum. These guys, my orc hunters, are just there to really weaken them, take out maybe 40 or 50 troops, while my Eastern crossbows finish them off. They're pretty decent, very heavy armor, decent range stats, and decent in melee since they pull out that mattock on their hilt, on the side of their waist. Now then, 2 units of 3rd Legion infantry, I believe. Yes, 2 units of them. Very elite, like axe and sword infantry, axe and shield. These guys will basically beat anything that I have in 1-to-1. Maybe not my halberds because they can just keep them at bay, but they'll wreck stuff like Located Amphorin if they're not supported. Of course they are by halberds and other such units. 2 units of Sons of the Fallen on the flanks. Very elite, 1,000 florins to bring each. They will last so long, and they'll dish out a ton of damage while they survive. Sentries of Khazad-Dum, just one of those, just for that pike presence. In behind them, it is one of my favourite units in the Dwarven roster, the Dwarven Miners. These guys, AP infantry, 450 foreign spring, nice and cheap. So you can bring 4 of them before going into the red. I just like to bring 3 or 4 because it's more manpower and it leaves me more money to buy more elite stuff. Albeit, because they're dwarves, they'll stand up to anything, like stuff like Runic infantry and other such units. Mithril Guard, Legion Bodyguard, he's gone for something real, and the Guards of Khazad-Dum. He has. Yep, so some very elite infantry. 3 hit points with the Mithril Guard, AP. I think they're AP. Yeah, they're AP with those axes. 3 hit points, very elite, tons of money to bring. Legion Bodyguard, also AP, tons of money. 2 hit points for those, I think. So they obviously cost a bit less than the Mithril Guard. But they're still very elite and heavy armored as on Mithril Guard. And the Guards of Khazad-Dum, I know for sure they're AP. And they can dish out a ton of damage, not just because they have an absolute metric ton of armor, but because they have that damaging axe. 2 units of 2nd Legion Axe Guard, very elite AP shock infantry, as you can tell from their war axe, like that giant 2-bladed war axe. And they have decent armor. I think they might, yeah, they even have a shield on their backs. They'll get a shield value from that when getting shot in the rear. Albeit, when you get shot in the rear, you suffer many debuffs to your armor and block skill. 2 units of Hammers of Thunderbad, slightly more elite than them, albeit they don't have that shield on the back to protect them. But of course, more heavy armored, and in an army almost completely comprised of silver boys, you can tell the elite guys are the gold guys. Of course, in an army comprised of gold dudes, you can tell the silver dudes are the elite dudes. Unless there's no silver dudes, in which case the gold dudes are silver guys. Without further ado, let's begin the battle. And this will start with him moving up pretty quickly. And then me pulling my Belcher Tribesman back over to the flanks. As you can tell, you know, I'm keeping that one there, I'm just pulling this guy back to easy strong crossbows. But pretty soon I will move these Eastern Hunters up to start trying to shoot down the enemy in Khazad and their archers. Now he's marching his sentries up, just trying to get them ready for the battle. And if we just have a look here, you see the Sons of the Fallen marching, you can see all of his solid units, and he's just boxing up, basically, sending up his 3rd Legion infantry to protect his pikes, and you can see the miners and his elite dudes. He just has like 150 odd elite dudes. Sorry I didn't say this before, but looks like Balin is in the Mythical Guard. That's where his general is. And now my Eastern Hunters are moving up. Of course, I still have my Eastern Crossbowmen and all of my low-K units back here. So there's my Eastern Clansmen and my Giants are Guildsmen and Hunters and my General's unit. I'm just setting these guys up as wide as I can because, well, it doesn't really hurt, and it just means that, say, it's going to be harder for them to hit me because, say, all of their arrows are focusing that way. There's only about 30 or 40 men for them to hit in that area, right? Whereas I can hit all of their guys. Albeit their archers are those Orc Hunters are much better quality archers than my unit Eastern Hunters. Albeit we're still getting the odd kill here and there. You can see 1, you see 3, 4 even dead wolves and 5. Well, you're gonna start seeing some solid amounts of dead wolves very soon. Now I suppose this is Balin's rear guard, and it's somehow managed to escape Moria with Balin, even though he died. So I suppose the theme for this battle is a small force of Balin's managed to escape and fell back to Erebor, but it was then dispatched to deal with a Runic invasion, and it did so under the look of these mountains. And you can see my crossbowmen. Now that these crossbows are here, these guys are really going to start collapsing. Because their main strength, really, is their armor. I mean, just one body, most of that's going to get through that armor, right? It's going to dish out some solid damage, so any that don't die will be severely weakened. And you can see that they're really starting to lose manpower. Even though my crossbows here are shooting into here, just trying to take out some of their infantry. I mean, 66, 65 now. 65 Orc Hunters. Are they really going to do that much damage? But I'm still using my Eastern Hunters to focus their Orc Hunters down. But my Eastern crossbows are just focusing down their infantry line, because the less infantry that they have, the better for us, really. And somehow the odd son of Fallen is dying. I mean, I suppose they don't really have that shield value. Because I'm shooting them from here. No, they should still have that shield value. So it's kind of from the front. Actually, nah. I suppose it's fine you chinking shield wall. But they're not actually in shield wall. So yeah, my crossbows, they're doing pretty well. But they sent in those Dwarven Miners. Now, fortunately, these Eastern Hunters have run out of ammunition. So what I'm doing is... These Orc Hunters, they're down to 53. But they have a bit of respite now. These Miners, they are charging towards my Eastern Hunters. And we see the first clash of the day. As my Eastern Hunters are just getting yeah, and very quickly you can see that there is a gaping hole in my Eastern Hunter. But the good thing is, now that they punched that hole, see these crossbows here? Well, basically they have the perfect angle to shoot these guys. Yes, the main killing force for these guys is these crossbows. These guys, they've lost almost half their unit, if not more. Albeit they probably lost quite a few to the archers. These miners are ripping them apart, but while they rip them apart, my crossbows are free to shoot into them at their heart's content. Which is pretty good. Yeah, so you're just shooting these guys inside. And of course they're gonna get debuffed because they're shooting inside and all that good stuff. So, although each body isn't doing much damage, due to the sheer amount of units that will soon be shooting, the amount of damage output we'll be doing is massive. And now you can see that Manus is really starting to push. As the Sons of the Fallen marching forwards on each flank. But you can see the extent of what my crossbowmen managed to do. They managed to get most of those, all of those. And about 30 kills on, probably a bit more. These guys are now routing. And what I'm doing now is I'm calling my Baltrock tribesmen to run up and try and take a few bodies up there. Sons of the Fallen. Unfortunately, they don't really get into position, and I'm just forced to send a body in there. But that's managed to take their numbers down to 79, and then further down to about, we're still on 76. Now they're in with my silent Rhun. However, these guys, they've done a much better job, already down to 70. Second body doing even more damage. They're down to 62. Third body, bringing them down to 50. However, they are now sending their little guarded Legion bodyguard. All of their solid infantry has gone in. And if I was him, what I would have done was send as many guys as I can here, right? You can poke through here, take here, and you can just fight through. Unfortunately, what he's doing is the Sons of the Fallen are wrecking my low case iron room. Like they're just trying to punch through the center. However, I'm sending in my Eastern Clansmen just to add that middle bit up. As you can see, it's kind of patched. You can still get through there, but it's effectively neutralized. But I've had to send in all of my clansmen. My Eastern crossbows are getting ready. Eastern hunters are firing. Just sending all of my troops around. Over here, the Sons of the Fallen are still fighting the good fight, down to 63. But they're not going down fast enough for my line. So as we look through the lines, these guys, they're slowly but surely punching through. Especially here. I'm just having to send as many javelins in this back as I can. And yeah, they've already punched through here. Which is not what I wanted to happen. And again, they punched through there. However, we've managed to achieve victory on this. As you can see, they're down to the last 10 Sons of the Fallen. And I still have some solid units just going. This Dragon Wrath Guildsman, I'm just trying to keep them there. While these guys, jabbing them. These guys, they're just getting in the way, trying to stop them. And we're sending some jabbies in. Well, we should be sending some jabbies on the field. However, they're nearly through here. They're through here, they're through here. They're through in so many different places. Ah, that's who I'm shooting. No, I'm just sending jabbies into them. Just trying to dish out as much damage as I can. These two Sons of the Fallen refusing to go down. Not really what we want. I really don't want to see this when your entire middle line, the entire front line is breaking down. Yep, and you can already see giant hole in the middle. Managed to get into my general unit. I still have my crossbows, but still, they have all of these guys that they can now send. Let's say over here. Oh yeah, he sent his entire unit of Mythical God over to the red line. Most likely not intentionally. I reckon he didn't do that intentionally. Because now he is actually just sending it back. A bit in shield wall, I think. No, yeah, I don't think they're shield wall. But when they get
enemy badly. They have only half their men left.
So we've lost
Oh,
53, they've lost 50.
We have lost half our warriors.
And it's only going to get worse now that they've got through our actual dedicated infantry. They're into our archers. Somehow these Sons of the Fallen are still fighting the fight. And arguably destroying my men. Not really what you want to see. But their stuff are really starting to drop. They're down to 21 now, 19 now, 18. That's more what I want to see. Now over here, I've finally got these guys over. However, my general's been killed, which is not too good for us. Because that will mean our guys are more likely to rout. As you can see, these Rampage, these Oakley and Rhun have routed. As have these Eastern Clansmen. Yeah, this is all that's holding on that flank. And they'll get chopped up soon. These dragons left guildsmen still fighting a good fight against the Slavic infantry. His crossbows are getting wrecked by this Legion bowler. Not what you want to see. And now that Mithril Guard has come, albeit it is winded. So, it just ran all the way from over here. It was fighting on the front line for about 5 minutes. And then it runs all the way here, only to turn around, gets back here, and it's only winded. Okay. And that's routed off my 88 Eastern Crossbowmen. Absolutely lovely. These guys still fighting a good fight against these 24 guards of Khazad-Dum that are winning against an absolute ton of troops. Beautiful. These guys, they are now free to start moving over and save this low-pay gap throne. That's fighting against the second Max Guard. These strong clansmen in Silent Throne will be a welcome sight for those troops as they charge in and save them. However, that will be short-lived. Somehow there's 3,000 frames left in this battle. It's probably because all my troops are just coming back. Of course, this is a 1v1, so yeah, all my troops are over. It doesn't exactly take too long to get back. Yeah, these guys routing. Legion bodyguard and shield wall formation. So as to minimize losses. And now it's just slowly coming to... We've got one more body off, but now these 28 Legion bodyguards are free to run rampant around my Eastern crossbows. They're on guard mode, so they'll get some more bodies off. The main thing I'm doing is praying that these guys will actually punch through here. So I have an entire unit of 51 crossbows effectively waiting to shoot them. 9 guards of Khazad-Dum being whittled down to still 9, being whittled down to a grand total of 2. And now these guys are now in melee or not. But still, these guys will probably still manage to survive. Although, now that I've said that, of course they're going to get hit and die. And of course, a grand total of 20 dwarves or whatever. Okay, 30 dwarves is enough to beat about 70 or 80 units. Of course, I'm still just sending crossbow bolts into their side. Now, which is good for us. These guys down to 28. And these guys, they just need to hold on. It's 50 of them, they should hold on. Listen, but these guys are now charging these strong crossbows who counter charge, and now these 45 Mithril Guard will finish them, which you can obviously count on. These guys are dying very quickly. This is very alarming. They now have an extra 6 men, and my men are being whipped quickly. But of course, Rhun definitely not as good as he is. And due to that, they cost a lot less. 5 rotate out for him. It says they're in melee. Are they? No. On the side. These strong crossbowmen somehow still fighting. All of my guys are running away. And so here is my final stand. These 5 brave low-K Gamblers that will almost certainly rout in 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. And there they go. Anyway, we should be able to see the statistics very soon. No, here is my last stand.
Today's victory clearly
And they
belongs
just
to our
wiped it.
enemy, but vengeance will be ours.
Okay, so now we'll be able to see the statistics. There we go. Right, so I killed a grand total of 979. He killed 2026. Absolutely incredible. Only kidding, that was terrible from me. Let's see where my kills came from. Used OK Silent Rhun with 103. So I mean, it's not like my units did badly. Quite a few of them did, especially these Eastern Khazad-Dum with 24, 9, 17, and 30. I'm pretty disappointed with these Dragoncraft Guildsmen, only getting 44 and 49 kills. They didn't manage to get their entire payloads off. Again, similar with this unit of Battleshift Tribesmen, should have got more. This Battleshift Tribesman doing decent, Silent Rhun doing good, Gamprim, not, these two not as happy, I'm not as happy with as this unit. With the low-K flag roam, similar story, 21, 33, and 20. Not even as, some of them not even as good as some Eastern Clansmen. Eastern Crossbowmen, however, 117 and 66 kills. And a nice similar story with the Eastern Hunters. But anyway, I hope you enjoyed the video. If you did, feel free to leave a like, leave a comment to show your support. Please join my Discord server. If you're new around here, why not subscribe? It's free and it really helps out the channel. If you want to send in a replay, I'll put my Discord DM in the description, and I'll put a link to my Discord server in the description as well, so you can join us. It's a nice community and you can post your replays there. But anyway, thank you for watching and see you next time.